Ni hao, and welcome to another episode of Everything Objectified. My name is Dylan. I'm joined, as always, by my roommates Richard and Kevin, and we objectify everything. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
I'm doing amazing.
It's been a little while since we recorded a podcast, so
it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
yeah, 2 weeks or so. How's your Christmas? New Year. It's the first, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. How was your Christmas? How was your breaks?
It was good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to spend it in warm weather, which is really nice.
Yeah, you traveled to
San Diego.
San Diego. Pretty cool.
Did you wear shorts the whole time?
Basically.
Oh my
it was
God,
so
I wish.
nice.
Is that your first time there?
No.
No.
I've been there before.
Yeah, so you have family out there.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I've been meaning to go out west recently.
Yeah?
I like. It's just always been a thought in the back of my head.
Like,
Have you ever been?
No.
all the way west, like California?
Yeah, all the way west. Well, I used to have family in San Diego,
Gotcha.
but they recently just moved to Ocean City, so
Oh.
Yeah.
that's where I
Now
spend
you
all my
don't have to
time.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I don't really have to travel that much, but yeah. How's your break? You got a few days
It was
off.
good. Yeah, I mean, I was employed for
I'm
most
counting
days.
it.
What? I didn't say the
I'm
word.
counting it.
Oh, tried to dip it, but it didn't work. But yeah, I got to go home for like 6 days.
Yeah.
It was good.
Cool.
That's nice.
Good experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always good to go home, see family, get a little break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was your break?
It was wonderful. I was traveling. I went to Israel on birthright. It was wonderful. It was amazing.
Your first time out of the country,
My
right?
first time out of the country. It was absolutely amazing.
That's awesome.
Really, really a life-changing trip. Like, going to see all the tourist attractions was fun, but like being able to bond with everyone on such a close level was really something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it was fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What was the weather like there?
Very nice.
Yeah?
Very, very nice. Up north it was a little chilly.
Uh-huh.
So the birthright trip, you fly into the Ben Gurion airport, which is in Tel Aviv, which is kind of in the south. So you got to drive up. We started up north in the Golan Heights, and then
Came back down.
and then we came back
Gotcha.
down. We went to Jerusalem. Side note: I am a little sick, so pardon my sniffles, pardon the coughs and the sneezes.
Maybe he sounds a little different.
I might sound a little stuffy. I just took a Mucinex. We'll see how this hour goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we drive. We start the Golan Heights, drive through the West Bank to go to Jerusalem, spend a few nights in Jerusalem, spend a night in Tel Aviv, and then we go to Ashkelon, which is a small town outside of Tel Aviv, and then we go back to the airport, which is right outside Tel Aviv.
That's cool.
It's very, very cool. It was amazing. Just gotta say about the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict, I don't want to get too political about it, but I just gotta say, America hypes it up way too much.
Yeah.
It really was not an issue.
You mean the media?
American media hypes it up a lot.
Too. Yeah.
My dad, rightfully so, was worried about me going on this trip. He was like, I just want to make sure you're safe. I just want to make sure that nothing's going to happen to you while you're over there.
Yeah.
There was no worry about anything. The country is completely safe. It's a little bit of a different culture, but I never felt unsafe. There was one time I did get a death threat.
Well, from
What?
what?
That was you said that so casually.
I got all right. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a casual thing. So like,
I
was in Tel Aviv, which is okay. So the difference between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, basically, is Tel Aviv is a younger, newer city with more millennial generations, and Jerusalem is a little older. But Tel Aviv is way more expensive. It's like built up. You got skyscrapers and stuff, but Jerusalem's older. Buildings made out of clay and brick and mortar and whatever. Okay. So we were in Tel Aviv. We were walking. We were taking up like the whole sidewalk, the whole ass sidewalk. And these sidewalks are fucking huge too. Okay. We were just taking it all up. And some guy was on a bike. He was walking dogs on a bike, and he was. Yeah, I know. Okay. It was a little weird. It was a little strange. But he was walking, and he was like trying to get around us, and he couldn't get around us. And then we finally realized that he was trying to get through, and we made a path for him, and he went through, and then he yelled something at us in Hebrew. And I turned to one of our Israelis. We have Israelis that come with us. They're soldiers. They're in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. And I turned to her, and I go, "Oh, what did he say?" And he says, "Fuck off and die." That's what he said to us. And at first I was like, "Oh my God, that was a death threat." In Hebrew. But then I was like, but then she's like, yeah, it's like, you know, it doesn't really matter. She's like from America. She has dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, it's pretty much being told to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it's just like a death threat in Israel is kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
that sort of same.
Yeah.
It holds the same. So it doesn't really matter. So, yes, I got a death threat.
But it wasn't like a concrete, like, I'm
gonna kill you.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like the level of death threat that we think of.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, you know,
It's
fuck
just a
off.
casual
Yeah.
death threat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Casual death
your
threat.
casual death threat. Yeah,
Everyday thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, go
That-
fuck yourself.
that's not as concerning.
it was fun. But you know, other than that, it was wonderful. People couldn't have been nicer. It's just an amazing trip. I recommend that everyone who is Jewish, I absolutely recommend going on Birthright. Why wouldn't you go? And everyone that is not Jewish, I recommend going just for the history of things. It is really an amazing country to see.
Yeah.
But I'm a little biased. If you didn't know,
At least you're honest.
if you didn't know, Everything Objectified is a show where each week one of us brings a random topic to the other two, and we talk it out for your entertainment. But the catch is we can't use our phones or the internet, so we talk out of our asses the whole week, and then at the beginning of the next show, we fact check ourselves.
Yeah. And Dylan does all the fact checking, so go ahead, Dylan.
So last week's topic was
Pens.
pens. It was a very passionate episode.
Yeah, because, like, yeah, it was.
I remember
we just started arguing. Like,
Yeah.
from the beginning, and then,
We were like...
and then we said the topic, and then we continued to argue.
Yeah, it was a very passionate episode. I thought it was, had fun with it.
It was really
Yeah,
fun.
I had a lot of fun with it. But, nonetheless, let's get right into the notes.
Okay.
First thing, someone said that Neanderthals are Homo sapiens. They are not.
They're not
They're not Homo
They're
sapiens. They are Homo
Neanderthals.
neanderthalinus.
This?
Yeah.
Neanderthalinus.
Okay.
Next thing, I was doing some research on the whole chicken and the egg debacle.
Yeah, okay.
Did some research.
There's
This
no...
is-
well, okay.
Go ahead.
This is from
From
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, okay, whatever. You're just going to dispute Wikipedia. I bet you use Wikipedia all the time to do research papers. It doesn't matter. It's from Wikipedia. I'm just bringing in perspective outside of just the three of us.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Here it is.
I'm listening.
If the question, quote, if the question refers to chicken eggs specifically, the answer is still the egg, referring obviously to the chicken or the egg. But the explanation is more complicated. Oh, I actually posted these out of order. Hold on. All right. Unquote. Quote, if the question refers to eggs in general, the egg came first. The first amniote egg, that is a hard-shelled egg that could be laid on land rather than remaining in water like the eggs of fish or amphibians, appeared around 312 million years ago. In contrast, chickens are domesticated descendants of red jungle fowl and probably arose little more than 8,000 years ago at most. So a little background, but, unquote. A little background. It's just giving you, some history there.
Uh-huh.
And the jungle fowl, of course. But
Uh-huh.
it says the egg.
Okay.
Here's a little more in-depth answer. Quote, if the question refers to chicken eggs specifically, the answer is still the egg, but the explanation is more complicated. The process by which the chicken arose through the interbreeding and domestication of multiple species of wild jungle fowl is poorly understood, and the point at which this evolving organism became a chicken is a somewhat arbitrary distinction.
Uh-huh.
Whatever criteria one chooses, an animal nearly identical to the modern chicken, i.e. a proto-chicken, unquote, we were calling it the non-chicken,
Okay.
quote, laid a fertilized egg that had DNA identical to the modern chicken due to mutations in the mother's ovum, father's sperm, or the fertilized zygote.
Mhm.
Put more simply by Neil deGrasse Tyson, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The egg laid by a bird that was not a chicken.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
the egg came first, unquote. Just to wrap things up,
The egg came first.
the egg came first because it was whichever distinction that we use to qualify a modern chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that first chicken was laid, it was laid from something that we don't classify as a
As a
modern
chicken.
chicken.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the part that we were stuck on.
Yeah.
Is an animal that's not a chicken able to lay an egg that is a chicken.
Right. And then would that egg be classified as a chicken egg?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the question.
Yeah. And okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna go.
We're just gonna get
more,
stuck.
So
Yeah, we're gonna get stuck.
That's okay.
If
you want to talk about it,
no, I'll take the egg.
take the egg. I'll take the egg.
I'll take the egg.
All right.
If Neil deGrasse Tyson said it,
Yeah.
I'm just Neil deGrasse
Oh,
Tyson.
jeez! If all I had to do was quote Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, like
Everything
man.
Objectify rules. It's the egg.
It's the egg.
It's the egg. All right. Next thing. I was talking about how Taylor Swift writes. She apparently, I quoted.
right.
Oh yeah, you were like.
I quoted that she writes with her pencil or / pen going straight through her middle finger and ring finger, and she just makes a fist.
Yeah.
And she just holds her pen and just moves her fist.
Uh-huh.
She does do this, but it's between her index finger and middle finger. She
Okay.
just makes a fist, and her pencil just goes straight through her 2 fingers, and she just makes a fist, and she just moves her fist.
That does not.
So you were
make
saying
it,
you said a friend also does it,
Right. So
but does she do it in the middle?
she probably does
no,
it the
my
same
friend
way.
just does it the same way as Taylor Swift
Okay.
does. Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't make it any less weird.
It's,
No,
I
it
know
doesn't
it
make it
is weird.
No, it is strange. It is very strange. This was a tough one to research, to be honest, because there are not very many pictures of Taylor Swift writing, surprisingly.
But does
When
she
she signs
does she
stuff?
still do it to this day?
Yeah.
When she signs stuff, there's not a photo of.
She probably holds
I
it
mean,
normally when
but
she
it's like
signs
not a
it.
zoomed in photo. It's like a picture of Taylor Swift is not a picture of her hand.
True.
You know what I mean?
Nobody's like, oh, gotta take a picture of her signing something.
I mean, someone eventually did because I found it.
Okay.
But, you know.
I mean, yeah. Millions of pictures are taken.
So
of
she
her.
doesn't know how to hold her pen normally.
I mean,
Oh no!
Yeah,
like
he-
I,
well, he
what
talked
I'm,
to
what
her.
I'm saying is
She
like
wasn't. Yeah.
what I'm saying is like have. Did
let's
you
get Taylor Swift on the line.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, did you see any other pictures of her holding her pen normally, or was it just only like?
No, it's just only this way.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
That's interesting.
there might be. I mean, I personally only know one way how to write.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know multiple ways how to write. You know, like I can't write with my left hand. I can't write.
Yeah, but
I could
you
try.
Could, you could like you could
I mean,
hold
everybody
it
could
like
try.
in like slightly different ways.
Yeah, but like, it's not going to get the same results. Like she signs her autographs like this. Like this is her.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
then that's how she signed
You
it.
know, like this is
Her-
Taylor
her
Swift we're
go-to.
talking about.
Yeah.
This is Taylor Swift we're talking about.
Fun fact, did you know the most listened to album this year
I was hoping you would
I-
bring this up.
I did because you told us
is,
yesterday.
I was
is
hoping
Taylor Swift's Reputation album.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd bring this up. This is
It's
very
actually
interesting.
I know.
One of the most listened to albums this year, Reputation.
No, it's the number one most listened to
This
album
is the
this
number
year.
one.
Yeah.
Wow, very
Well, last
interesting.
year.
Very
Do
interesting.
you guys want to
It
take
was
a guess at
released
the top
last year.
10?
What?
Do you guys want to take a guess at the top 10? I can't remember.
I know,
I
you
remember
said-
like 10 of like a few of them off the top of my head. but-
We had this conversation yesterday about. I'm surprised that Kanye's album Ye is not on this list.
Yeah. And
I'm
this is-
so surprised it came out this year. Remember, we were in school when it came out.
It's not talking about albums that came out this year. It's just the most listened to albums.
yeah.
It could be from other years too.
I would imagine that there is a Queen album on this list as well.
Unfortunately, there is.
That's
I
very
think
interesting because
If the movie didn't come out, it came out too late in the year.
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
It came out too late in the year.
Good point.
Maybe for the next year,
Good
it
point.
will
Do you
take.
want to like?
Because I was looking at Queen albums. I was going to buy a vinyl, and I noticed that the prices went up drastically.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Companies are
Taking advantage.
taking advantage of this
Yeah.
of the whole Bohemian Rhapsody business.
Mhm.
We saw that movie. What'd you guys think?
It was a great movie.
Yeah, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I had no idea who Queen was until
That movie.
Yeah.
Me too.
yeah.
It was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
good.
I love.
I didn't know that story at all.
Very interesting.
That's really cool.
I've seen Live Aid like 1,000 times. My mom was actually there. My mom. I was talking about the movie, and she doesn't really like Queen that much.
Okay.
And I was talking about the movie, and she goes, and I bring up Live Aid, and she goes, "Oh, I was there." Like, so
casually said that.
I'm like, you never told me you were at Live Aid. Like, the biggest concert
Like, damn.
in the world that has ever happened. Period. And I never knew about it.
And you were there, and you didn't tell me.
And she goes, yeah, well, I wasn't with your father then, so I don't really talk about things before your father. I'm like, that's a completely different. But she was there, and I was like listing off artists that were at Live Aid. Well, she was at the Philly show,
Oh,
and
okay.
well, Live Aid was at two. For those of you that don't know, Live Aid was two shows, one in London, one in Philly, but they were at the same time, and artists would take turns in 20-minute sets. So someone would play in London, and then there would be a 20-minute break in London, and during that break in London, there would be a 20-minute show in Philly,
Really?
and
Gotcha.
on and off, on and off, on
It would
and
be
off.
live streamed. Like,
Yep.
that's cool.
The whole day that would happen, and it was the and they were just raising awareness for AIDS in Africa, and raising money, and it was everyone.
I
It
don't
was
think
anyone.
Live Aid had anything to do with AIDS. It just had to do with Africa. We actually had this conversation Christmas with my father's side of the family. Live Aid had nothing to do with AIDS.
I don't know.
Or supposedly. I mean, this also was unchecked.
Yeah,
But according to that side of my family, Live Aid just meant, was for helping Africa. Not specifically for AIDS.
Yeah, I believe it. I just pulled that right out of my ass, but
So yeah, guess
But-
that'll be something you will have to fact check.
yeah,
I mean, I'm actually curious.
I'll look it up. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, doesn't that seem like what it would be?
Live Aid. It would make sense. Yeah. I
I
mean,
thought it was
understand-
called like
but it-
Live Aid, right?
It is
8 or is it aid?
Aid.
It's aid, right?
Aid.
That's what I thought.
But it's called aid because it's
you're
aiding.
yeah,
Africa.
you're aiding Africa.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the logo is like the continent with like a guitar in
Yeah.
it or something.
I don't know. Very interesting.
I don't know where I was going with that.
So you were talking about your mother being there,
Yeah, she was there.
and okay, you were just explaining.
She-
You were explaining what Live Aid was.
My mom, I'm like kind of mad at my mom for this because she not only did she not tell me about this until I brought it up, but we were talking about it and I was like listing off artists and she was like, I really just don't remember very much. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I was like, were you drunk? And she was like, no, I just don't really care for live music or like
Oh my
artists. And I'm like, oh my god! Like,
If
are
you know Dylan,
serious?
Dylan is like super into like live music.
That's
Yeah.
like it. That is
Like
the
that.
pinnacle. That is the pinnacle of artistry.
That's
But,
funny.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that later. But all right, next thing.
Well, wait. Are you hinting at the topic?
Yes, giraffes' necks have the same number of vertebrae as human necks, which is 7. I was like,
that?
Are they larger?
I just
Are they larger or are they
yeah,
the
they're
same
just
size?
like
They're
they're
just
just
larger.
like
They're just
longer.
bigger pieces.
Yeah,
of
yeah. Well, I brought this up like ambiguously. I was like, do you guys know like how many vertebrae are in a
Oh,
giraffe?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like
I
a random
remember
fact,
that.
right?
Yeah, and you guys were like, why would you bring that up if you don't know the answer? So there's the answer. It's 7.
Because the way you asked it sounded like
You
knew
knew
the
the
answer.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. Next thing, final thing. Shaved zebras do have stripes.
I knew it.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
I looked up pictures. They're like pink, but they have dark stripes on them.
Yeah.
Dark pink stripes or black? Like it's actually
Like
black.
it's just darker. It's just a darker shade of pink.
Okay.
Like you can clearly see stripes, but it's not the same stripes that you see in their fur.
Okay.
It's different stripes. So they're striped twice. Zebras are my favorite animal. This just reaffirmed.
They're striped twice.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
So
I mean, it makes
I saw
sense.
giraffes when I was in San Diego because I went to the San Diego Zoo. It's really cool.
how was it?
It was nice. It was so big because like my cousin got free tickets because one of her neighbors like works for the military and they get free tickets all the time
To San Diego Zoo?
Yeah, to San Diego Zoo. So they had three tickets. So it was my cousin, my brother, and I. We went, and it's like this really nice zoo, and it's like super well built, and it's huge. They have like bus tours, and they have like this like ski lift thing that takes you to the other side. And
So it's like huge.
yeah, it's
like,
pretty big. It's pretty big. Like we only had time to go around it once completely, and we didn't go through the middle. And there's so many like middle stuff that we didn't see, but it's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, saw giraffes. Saw
What's your favorite animal? I don't know if I actually know the answer to this.
my favorite animal.
You know mine, right?
Probably.
Give me a sec. I'm pretty sure
I've told you.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Probably. I don't know. Like it changes time to time, but like I really like. I could list like top 3. I don't have like a favorite. Wolves.
Wolves are cool.
Like falcons.
Falcons.
And
Falcon
cougars.
Punch.
And cougars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to be fascinated with cougars when I was a kid. I did so many projects on cougars. It was really funny.
Little wink, wink, nod, nod.
That is not why. Because like they're like really known in like Canada. So it was like, might as well like.
What do you mean? What do you mean by
like,
they're really?
So
well-known?
okay, so like we.
Are there a lot of them?
When I was in elementary school, we had to do like a project on like one of the provinces / territories in Canada, and I chose one of the northern. Wait, is it even a territory or a province? I don't even remember.
What?
But it's Nunavut. Nunavut is like one of the provinces or territory of Canada,
know.
and one of the only one of the most I guess like well-known animals from there are cougars or pumas or whatever. They're all like the same word for the same animal. There's so many ways to call like cougars, pumas, and like
Bobcats,
mountain lions. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just fascinated. It was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Were they at the San Diego Zoo?
Yes.
And did you geek out?
No.
Oh.
Like, it was just sleeping, so I was just like...
Is there an animal that you see that you're like, oh my god, and you just like freak out? Because for me, it would be zebras.
Not really.
Could have guessed that.
But
Not
this
really,
isn't like this isn't their.
I
their
usually
temperate zones.
like
yeah.
not just... I don't really geek out. I'm just like fascinated by like all animals. But I've been to the zoo like a lot of times, so like in like many different zoos.
Have you been to the Philly Zoo?
No. I really want to go, but it's so expensive.
It's very expensive.
And I'm just like, I could just go back to DC and go there for free, so like, what the fuck is the point? You know?
Yeah.
And like, every time I go back to DC, I always usually go. Like, sometimes like I went by myself one spring break, like last spring break. Because I was just like, why the fuck not?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I just spent the whole day at the zoo. By myself.
No, I don't remember your favorite animal, Kevin. You gotta remind me.
Honey badger.
Oh, I
Honey
knew
badger.
that.
Honey
I
badger.
knew that. Yeah, the honey badger. Probably inspired by that one YouTube video.
Which one?
You've never seen the honey badger YouTube video?
No, they showed me this because people were like, "Oh, what's your favorite one?" And this exact conversation happened.
You don't know the honey badger?
And at that point, I hadn't seen that video.
So, aside from the YouTube video, your favorite
Oh yeah,
animal is a honey badger. That's insane. That's insane to me. I mean, that's
Have you ever seen
that's
a
just
honey
insane.
badger before?
no.
I mean, aren't they? I don't know what their like zone is, like their temperate zone, but I feel like they wouldn't belong in here.
I don't think they belong.
I feel like they like.
They're also very
Yeah,
aggressive.
like Arizona.
Yeah.
Like Arizona. Like when I see honey badger,
like
I think
dry.
Arizona, yeah, dry.
Yeah, very
like
dry,
California,
very
probably.
hot. Yeah.
They're really cute, but
Like,
really
Attacking
aggressive.
snakes, like for no reason.
So is there an animal that we're straying a little bit, but
It's okay.
is there an animal that you guys have that you're actually afraid of? Because my sister saw her today, love her, hates spiders. I don't mind spiders, can't stand snakes. The only animal that I'm actually afraid of is a snake.
Like if it was in a cage, would you approach it?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, I would not.
I would
And
approach.
think-
I think almost any animal if
Yeah, like if
it's
it's in a
safely
cage.
contained.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope. Snakes can get out of cages.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they move. I don't even want to look. I think it stems
So you're
from,
scared because you don't understand the animal.
Yeah, and that's usually where all my fears come from. I was actually afraid of thunder for a very, very long time because I didn't understand how it worked.
Okay.
You know, it's just, if it doesn't make logical sense in my head, then I'm afraid of it. Right?
But-
so I don't
I mean,
understand
the first
how
time you see a
snakes-
snake
But
move,
do you
you're just
understand
kind of like,
thunder
how
now?
is
So
that
are you
moving?
fine with thunder now?
It's not that I understand thunder, it's that I'm old enough to the point where I know that thunder's not going to hurt me. It's still,
Thunder's
thunder,
the sound.
it's just a sound,
Yeah.
but it also is a sound that is so loud.
Yeah.
It vibrates buildings.
Yeah, it can make a building move.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. But like, when it really comes down to it, like, no, thunder is not really going to affect me. So, you know, I've gotten over it. But
Hurt your
at my
lungs
core,
and
like in my
your
heart, like, yes, I'm still afraid of thunder.
lungs.
But like snakes terrify me. I was on a run one day in the town that I grew up in, and it's a little woodsy, and I was on a run on the road, and a snake ran in front of me, and I stopped running and went the other way. I was not going that way, and I never went on that road again for a run. I can't.
Oh
do
my
it.
God.
I hate snakes. I can't.
Damn.
I just can't do it. And I think it stems from one day I was having a birthday party at a petting zoo, and they brought out a snake, and I petted it. but I don't remember much after that. I think I blacked out. I was like
You
5
just
years
knocked out?
old. I
Oh
was
my
like
God.
5 years old.
You like passed out and everything?
Yeah, I was like terrified of the snake. Like I can't like.
Was he? Wow. That's
Yeah, you know how like fears are like sometimes instilled in you from
Yeah.
when you're young. Yeah,
it's like a phobia.
there's a phobia. I have this. I don't. What is it? No, arachnophobia is with arachnids. I don't know what a
Yeah.
snake reptile.
No, I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I'll look it up.
I
But
tried.
yeah, but yeah, snakes are the only animal I'm afraid of.
That's. I don't really have a like animal that I'm afraid of that I wouldn't approach in a
Contained environment.
contained environment. Like
So you would go in like a shark cage and be
Yeah.
fine.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd be fine in a shark cage.
Yeah,
I don't
I
really.
think
I
the
don't
thing is,
really
like-
care about sharks.
like
I think that
if
would
I
be
know
really
the
cool.
animal is
I
not
think it
gonna
would be
harm
too.
me, I'm fine like touching them too.
Ah, I don't know about that.
Me
like-
too. I
But
mean,
I've also had.
No, I mean like if it's like a trained lion, you're not gonna touch it.
No,
Like,
I'm
if you
not
had the
afraid. I'm not even afraid of lions. I
Yeah,
touch a
like,
lion in general. I
I
mean,
know.
I wouldn't touch a wild
Yeah,
lion.
so-
Okay, yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. I wouldn't touch a wild lion. I mean, like in a safe
Touch.
environment. I touched him. Tiger it. but if it was a snake, a trained snake, I would hold it.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, no way.
Interesting.
But
So, yeah, I
what
don't
did we
really
just
have-
say? A trained lion or something? My old bio teacher in high school. He taught honors bio for freshmen,
Mhm.
and he had a tarantula in like a terrarium for
Yeah.
a tarantula
Mhm.
in his. Wait, did someone say the word tarantula to me earlier today? Did you say the word terrarium?
No.
Maybe I had a dream about it. I've heard that word before today, but I can't remember. That's odd. I'm gonna get back to this.
Okay.
I was like,
I think it was in a dream. Now that I say it out loud, that was
I
100%
probably
a dream.
was in a dream.
I slept a lot today.
I was thinking about I was thinking about the game Terraria, but I didn't say
Terraria.
it. But I didn't say it out loud.
Maybe your brain wavelengths just got sent to me.
like when you were sleeping.
Okay. But my old bio my old bio teacher had a terrarium for a tarantula, which is a funny thing to say out loud. And he used to bring it out like at the end of class if we had extra time. He used to bring it out and he would just like let the kids like hold him.
Mm-hmm.
And we would just hold this tarantula. It was like pretty big. It was like its wingspan, if you will, was like 8 inches or so. So it was like a pretty good size. So you would take him out and he would just like crawl up our forearms.
Mhm.
And just, it was pretty cool. Like some of the girls would not touch him, but this one girl absolutely loved this tarantula.
Yeah.
It was like,
It's so cool.
yeah, it was really cool.
My one thing. So like, say like a daddy long leg spider.
Yeah.
Can't hurt us.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're insects.
Yeah.
They have 6 legs. That's how you tell the difference. Learn that in kindergarten.
So I'll be fine. Like we used to have a lot of them on our shed for some reason. I don't know why. It's not happening now, but like it used to be like you walk up to our shed and there would be a bunch of daddy long legs on it, and you just it just became normal for me to just grab him by the grab him by the longest leg and you yeah. I mean, back in that day, eating wasn't a thing, but
Yeah.
nowadays,
The yeet of the time,
Yes.
if you will.
Yeah.
But then like sometimes I would just kind of play with them.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't do anything.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well, it
I
doesn't even
feel-
have a mouth.
It has fangs. I
Does it
mean,
actually?
it just can't go. It's not. They're not long enough to go through our skin.
Dylan is now scared of daddy long legs.
That's
Did not know
So
that.
He's like, I don't
Actually.
care for daddy long legs.
So like, I would
don't
play
care
with
for
it
Job.
once.
Oh
my god. Oh my god. Okay. Once it passes my elbows, I have a little bit of an issue.
Well, if it's like crawling on you.
If it's crawling on me.
Like any insect or specifically?
I don't know. I haven't experienced it with a lot of I haven't experienced it with a lot of insects.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like at that point, I've lost some control because especially if I'm like wearing a t-shirt, like it could go under my t-shirt.
Yeah,
It can.
yeah.
It's kind of I'm losing control of the situation,
I know what you're saying.
and so like it gets like once it passes my elbow, I'm like, okay, get off. Like
Yeah.
I start like swatting it off.
Yeah, it gets uncomfortable.
But like, once it's just yeah.
So would you say that you're not afraid of any animal?
In the controlled situation?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't be afraid really. Anything.
Wow. Very interesting. Interesting insights.
The thing is, like, Now, if we want to prank Dylan, I don't know what to do.
The snake action.
It would be a funny prank, I guess, but I might shit myself.
It's good.
I'll be there to record it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, getting into the topic of today.
Oh my god. Wait.
Dylan,
Yeah, it's my topic.
what's the topic?
I wanted to talk about. Let me check the time real quick.
We
I wanted
are
to talk.
30 minutes in.
All right, perfect. I want to talk about art. My topic is art.
Ooh, like
Just
art.
Yeah, so I had
In general?
two questions, two subtopics, if you will, that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
The first one: what is art? A question that has been around
Really
for
take us years
for
to
ages.
answer.
But I just wanted to pose a situation, or pose a question rather.
Okay.
How do you define art? Because it can't be intent, because you can never really surely know an artist's intent.
Yeah, there's no intent in art. It's just the
So
thing
how
is
do you
like
define?
What do you mean intent? What do you mean by
Yeah, what
intent?
So like, all right.
Because an artist intentionally makes a painting. He understands what he wants to make.
Let's go beyond paintings.
yeah, like
Let's talk
anything-
about
technically like anything created.
anything
is
is
art.
Anything is art.
So this
I
is
meant-
art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what we're
this
doing
is
art.
This is an art form, sure.
Yes.
But it all depends on how you define
Yes.
it. Like,
Yeah.
like.
So
we're
that's
just
the
like
first question.
we're just talking out of our ass into a microphone. But if someone wants to call this art, I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it can't depend on intent, because we're doing this for fun. But this could really affect someone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that's one.
It's not based
but,
on intent.
But let's use graffiti as an example.
Okay.
The intent of graffiti is not to make art. It's to express yourself,
Yeah.
or to deface something,
Yeah.
or to make art.
Mm-hmm.
But in either of those scenarios, the outcome is art.
I think the best way to define art is just a way of expressing yourself.
I like that. That was kind of what I was thinking. I think because this is us expressing ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure.
People throwing paint anywhere is expressing themselves.
Yeah.
People getting up and singing their own song or somebody else's song is expressing themselves.
But let's go back to paintings for a second.
Okay.
Someone makes a painting. There's a very famous piece of modern art that is a white canvas,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And supposedly it means something very political and very topical. Excuse me, but all it is
Mm-hmm.
is a white canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that an expression of oneself?
Well, we wouldn't know. We would have to ask.
Right, and
whoever made it,
And that's
or-
it. We don't know. So
Yeah.
how can you define art if we don't always know?
You don't know what's being expressed, but you know it's the artist expressing themselves.
So here's where I define art.
Okay.
I define it as anything that can move the audience emotionally.
I don't like
If
that
you-
definition.
And listen for a sec. If you look at something, anything, and it makes you feel something emotionally, any emotion, that's art. If you're standing in an airport and you're looking at the architecture, like I was in Israel, in the Ben Gurion airport,
Yeah.
I was looking at the architecture and I was like, wow, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
That's art. Architecture is art.
I think both definitions are correct. Because
Nothing's correct, but
Well, I'm saying
all
it's
art.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Because, like, it's the architect expressing themselves in
Right.
the creation of
I
this
have a
building.
question.
You know?
What if we're putting very not specific but intentional definitions? Under those two definitions, what isn't considered art?
What is not considered art?
Yeah, because right now, if I think of almost anything, I would define it as
Well,
art with
that's
those two definitions.
Right,
Well-
because art is a very vague term. It can mean anything. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm looking at my deodorant right now.
Mhm.
I look at my deodorant and I get happy Because I love my deodorant. Is my deodorant not art? Is this not art? I smell that deodorant and I just smell bliss.
Even the packaging for it too.
And it's just so superb. You know, I bought that because of the packaging, not because of the name, not because Old Spice, not because Fiji. I love that country. I've never been there. Who knows? But because of the packaging, because it looks interesting. And yet, is that not art? How could you not call that art?
The thing is, like, I
didn't call it art.
I'm just posing a question.
Yeah, okay. Everything is art.
Everything is art.
So, there we go.
Not everything is art. Everything could be considered art.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because that was just based off my, like, I was just trying to find something.
Find something that's not art.
That's not art. And I was just looking at this room. Everything in here can be considered some form of art.
Everything is art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because either I feel something or somebody designed it. Like, somebody, like... Something like simple like this stupid desk.
Yeah.
Art. Somebody had to design it.
It's gorgeous. Look at this.
It's
it's whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
it's gorgeous.
But like, if you look at something, if you look at something and you hate it, like
you hated it.
You hated it.
Felt an emotion.
You know that artist moved you. You were moved by this piece, by this work.
Hatred.
And
is
even if that's not what the artist intended, you were moved. He or she moved you. You know, isn't that it? That's it. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Anything else before we move to my next subtopic?
I have one thing though.
Yeah.
So we just said everything is art.
Everything could be considered art.
Everything can be considered. Yes. Everything can be considered art. Naturally occurring objects, say a tree.
That's art.
Is that art?
Yeah. It's art created by nature.
So
does it not make you feel something?
This is so. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Question.
I like that point. Because does it not make you feel something? It does sometimes make you feel something.
Because this is a question that I've always struggled with. Is art only man-made?
No.
But how can it be How can it be naturally occurring things? Because there's nobody in the first act. There's nobody doing it. There's nobody creating it. Unless somebody's like going and planting a tree and then cutting the tree to make it look like something. That's art. Like say they grow a big shrub and they.
So you're saying something has to be manipulated for it to be considered art?
I feel like somebody has to be. There has to be an intent. I feel an intent with the action. An intent
to what? Move the audience?
No, an intent.
For the creation.
For the creation.
Oh, intent to create something.
Yeah. Anything.
So,
but there's nobody on that.
So I was in Israel. I was standing in the Dead Sea, and I was looking out at the canvas, if you will, in front of me, the landscape. And there was nothing man-made in front of me. I was just looking.
Yeah.
And I could use this example in the north too, in the Golan Heights. I was looking at the Jordan River, and it was beautiful. But I don't know if I would call it art. It was
gorgeous.
Made you feel
something.
It was gorgeous and it was beautiful, and I felt so many emotions. But I just don't know if I would call it art.
I can't look at a wall of river and be like, oh, that's art.
And I don't know why. I don't know why I wouldn't consider that art. I don't know if I can exactly put my finger on why. You know? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So would you call that art, and why?
I would call it art.
But why? But what's your reasoning behind? What's your thought process there? You look at a river and you say that is art, but why do you say that?
Because it makes you feel something, like you said. I don't know. I don't know why.
We're not answering our questions, but I have another question.
Why is there a distinction
between what?
Between if it's man-made or if it's not man-made.
Well, sometimes you won't even know, and then how would you be able to tell what is art and what's not?
Yeah, so I'm saying it is all art.
Everything's art. Everything in the world that has ever been created or ever will be created is art.
Can be considered art, yes.
I
Are you
struggle with that
disagreeing?
one.
I struggle with that one too.
Well, then why do you disagree?
I don't know because like I
Can I ask? I think this will help a little.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
So, humans. We're saying man-made, human. What about if say a bird makes a nest? Is that art?
So it has. Yeah, it is art. Of course, it's art.
Is that
Or
no?
like a beaver
but
makes a dam.
beaver makes a dam. I think that's the issue.
You don't think that's
We're
not
thinking-
art? You don't think that's not art? Do you think that's art?
I struggle with that a little, and that's where I think I don't know if this is where you're getting hung up. My thought process is there has to be another mind down the other end almost.
What do you mean? Like an
Wait,
audience?
you're saying,
like the person there has to be a creator.
but then you
that's
guys are
some-
changing the definition of art that we've given it.
What? Why?
That it gives you. It's something that gives the audience an emotion, but it doesn't have to be man-made. That was not part of the definition.
A tree doesn't grow for an audience.
Well, yeah, it doesn't grow for audience, but
This was made for an audience. It was made for the buyers. That was made for the buyers. That was
the
made
tree was there for us to breathe.
I mean,
if you're trying to go that deep, but what I'm saying is I mean anyone viewing anything, and if it gives the person viewing it certain feelings, then I consider it art.
do you feel
Whether-
something when you look at a bird's nest?
Yeah, I feel fascinated. How they make those what? You know?
I think you're
those
convincing.
contraptions.
I think you're convincing me with that bird's nest analogy. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's very interesting.
It's
I honestly,
you don't think so?
I need to think
you
about
don't think
it.
so?
Because I struggle with I understand. I feel like that's bridging the gap between just a natural river. Because there's no animal really there. It's just water doing water. And that's not a living thing. I'm thinking it has to be somewhat of a living thing.
Why?
Just back to him. I honestly, I don't know right now. I need to think about
because
it.
then the say a river, then the canvas can be the valley that it runs through, and the artist is nature or God, if you will.
Okay.
It is nature. It is nature.
Exactly.
So then, are we all artists? Because we're all in nature.
I mean,
we're all art.
I agree with that.
I 100% agree.
I agree with that. No,
Yeah.
fair, I agree with that.
The humans are such a work of art.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's,
And we're created
All
by our
living things
parents,
are-
but we're
Are birds
ultimately
art?
created by nature.
exactly.
All birds art.
Are all birds art?
Yeah, all
So,
animals are
all living
art.
thing. So
Everything in this freaking world can be considered art.
okay,
Depending on if it makes you feel an emotion, by the definition that we've given it
Yeah.
so far.
but
And
doesn't everything kind of just give you an emotion?
exactly.
Well, I don't
But
Like,
okay,
I-
go ahead. I need to think for a
all right.
second.
So I'll look at a water bottle. I look at this water bottle right here in front of me. I don't feel an emotion, but someone could look at that water bottle and think
I mean, when I look at it, I think of an emotion.
like a designer. It doesn't make me feel anything. I just look at it and it's nothing to me. But I look at my water bottle. I look at.
I mean, yeah.
I'll look at your water bottle. I feel nothing. But I look at my water bottle and I feel a sense of nostalgia, a sense of home. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of where I'm from. That is art to me. But I look at your
Exactly.
water bottle. It reminds me of your employment. I don't care.
I mean, when I look at my water bottle, I have an opinion that I'm gonna have to not say because I'll get in trouble. But it gives me an emotion, and so I guess it's a person by person basis.
Yeah, so exactly. So everything can be considered art,
Yeah.
depending on who the person is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything is technically art, but maybe not to every person.
I want to just sit for a second. Think if you can think of something that can't be considered art.
No, there isn't.
Honestly, that's what I've been working on.
There isn't. You don't even have to think. There isn't.
That's
there
the
just
answer.
Isn't.
Okay, hold on.
Just
So
you could-
this
you
is
guys
not-
could try.
I'm really struggling with
You
this.
guys
Like,
could
there
try.
has to be something. There has to be something that's not art. There's
What,
gotta
black
be
holes?
something.
Black holes. That's
Well,
also art.
That makes me. I'm
that-
amazed by black holes.
Like,
and
that
that's
is
art.
Yeah,
so
and that's
cool.
art.
Yeah,
Then that's art.
yeah, exactly. So
But
like,
and I understand why you said black holes because it's nothing. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
and, like even nothing is art. Like a white canvas is art.
Right. This is fascinating.
This is I really like this conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. So like, it's art. It's art. Everything's art. Like try it. Go ahead and try and think of something.
All right. Maybe I will in the week that passes.
Okay, you can bring it up in the next episode.
Yeah,
but
I have another
I'm not gonna be able
subtopic.
to.
though.
Okay.
I have another question to pose about
Okay.
About art.
Art. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. When discussing an artist and their work,
Mm-hmm.
are we able to, like, as a society, as today's society, are we able to separate the artist from their work, or is their work always tied to them and their personality? And I'll explain. Because I'll bring up Kevin Spacey.
Exactly what I was thinking
I
about.
was thinking about Kevin Spacey earlier today.
Okay.
I love Kevin Spacey's work. And I have no issue saying that. I love Kevin Spacey's work. I love Baby Driver. I've only seen the first season of House of Cards, but I love it. I love it. I love Seven. I think Kevin Spacey's a great actor. But say that to someone who thinks a little bit differently than me about Kevin Spacey and about his personal life, and they'll have really strong opinions. I've heard people say, oh, I can't watch House of Cards anymore. Oh, I can't watch Seven anymore. Because the personal life of Kevin Spacey is too intimately tied with their work. So as a society, can we separate an artist from their work?
Can we or should we?
Can we? Are we able to? Can Kevin Spacey ever get to a point where he is able to act again? Probably not, because of the society in which we live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Me personally, or are you
no,
asking
personally,
me
yeah,
personally?
personally.
Or as a society?
No, yeah, personally,
Okay.
personally.
Personally, I
mean-
think it shouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should matter either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think it should matter.
Some of the greatest artists of all time have been racist, have been bigots, have
Uh-huh.
been, sexists.
But
But they
their-
make great art.
but
They make
their-
great work.
Their work is still influential to us.
And that's that.
Yeah, that's all that matters. It's like a lot, like some art, the artist does bring more life to it, but at the end of the day, it's still the interpretation of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, it does not matter who the artist is exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
I was thinking the same thing. I mean,
Okay.
take someone like George Washington,
Mm-hmm.
or anyone of that time period,
Mm-hmm.
of the 1700s or prior, owned slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make them a bad person? Now we're getting
Well,
into
no,
a territory
no.
that's
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
different
yeah,
than
but-
artists and artwork.
Yeah.
But, does
But
that-
it's the
does-
same. It's the same idea.
Because the norm changes.
the no-
you know?
Right, exactly. But does owning slaves make someone a bad person in that time period when that was the norm? I mean, supposedly you can say all this shit about George Washington, being very nice to his slaves, freeing them when he became president. Doesn't matter. He owned slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make him a bad person necessarily? I don't know. I don't know if I'm the
Yeah,
judge
I
of that,
don't
but
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like all opinion based. Some people might think it's bad. Some people might not.
Abraham Lincoln owned slaves.
Yeah,
And he signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
it's just what's considered normal, I guess. Like,
Right. The norm changes.
yeah, and like, you just have to go with the flow, you know?
So maybe the reason I brought that up, maybe at a certain point we were able to separate the artist from their work because we weren't so intimately looking at the artist.
Mm-hmm.
But now, as society has changed and we are so up the ass of the artist,
Mm-hmm.
it's too tied.
I like that. I like that statement because we think we know Kevin Spacey.
I don't know.
But we
I don't know. Goddamn, Kevin Spacey.
No, but like people are like, oh, I know Kevin Spacey.
Exactly.
I've read his IBM or whatever.
Yep.
And they think they know him. And when they found out that he did a bunch of dumb stuff,
right.
they were, and I guess not offended. I don't think, but like kind of just thrown off because it
I
messed
thought
up.
I knew Kevin Spacey.
It messed up. That's not how I saw him. I thought he was a better person.
Yeah.
I mean, watch any of his movies.
I can't watch any of it. I can't watch any. And the same thing happened with Louis C.K. And we were just watching Parks and Rec, and Louis C.K. was in an episode. I've heard people say, "Oh man, I can't watch Parks and Rec anymore."
Yeah, like
that's absurd to me. I mean,
yeah,
it shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. Because I personally can separate the artist from their work.
Yeah,
like it's someone, it's like an artist. Okay, I'm gonna stop using the word artist, but like an actor on screen, because this is what we're specifically talking about now. Like an actor on screen, it's just doing a job.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like when I'm working, I don't care about someone's personal life. I'll talk to my employees about whatever. But like I don't personally. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter about my employee. Like
it doesn't affect your actual work.
Right. All I care about is that they can get the job done. Mm-hmm. Right. So an actor does a job, and it then is considered art. Mm-hmm. And maybe because they have a larger audience than someone who's just pushing pencils at whatever Joe Schmo thing down the street.
Yeah.
Maybe it means something a little differently because they have such a large audience, and
there's
because
just more eyes on.
Right. They have more eyes, and they're affecting people a little differently. Like I looked up to Kevin Spacey when I was a kid. And that changed when I found out what happened. I don't look up to him personally anymore, but I still look up to his work. He's a great actor. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing's gonna change that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These are all very.
I just feel like society today, like my conclusion is that I personally can make the distinction between artists and their art, but society today has like made it super hard for like the media or like social media to like separate the difference.
I'm thinking about something. Men in Black movie. They're sitting on the park bench after he offers them the job.
Yeah.
And he explains why he can't share with the whole world that there's aliens.
Yep.
He says we could share with a person because a person can deal with the issue, but people are panicky. So I'm thinking, to that point, that as a person, because all three of us, the fact that all three of us agree on the fact that we can separate the work, I feel like that most people can. But when you put everybody together, and in this social environment where this is a toxic thing, what he did, everybody is more prone to go, oh, I don't want to associate myself.
Yeah.
Even this guy's art. I don't want to associate myself with this guy's art because his personal life is toxic.
Yeah.
To my image.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why as a group of people, they have to say, oh, I can't watch that. Mm-hmm. This guy's toxic.
Yeah.
And if I say I like this show, somebody's gonna turn around and be like, "What? Kevin Spacey's in it. You can't like that. He's a toxic person."
Yeah. No, that's a really good point.
Yeah. I think that's why it has become an issue. And then I don't know about like your example of like owning slaves. I don't know about that. I don't know if that fits that same standard, but I think that's kind of where it is.
And I just want to bring up Baby Driver again because
great movie.
It's a great movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I've only seen that movie post the Kevin Spacey debacle.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. I didn't see it in theaters. The first time I watched it was when I bought it on DVD.
Okay.
And it was amazing. But that movie's great. Like,
it is a good.
Go watch a movie. But like there's a lot of discussion about whether or not people, when the Kevin Spacey debacle happened, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not people should have gone and seen this movie and quote unquote given him the money. However, over 1,000 people worked on this movie, and this is really where my like opinion comes from. There are so many minds and so much work that goes into making a movie, and to have one person's personal life affect the outcome of that movie is simply ridiculous. Because think about all of the lighting, all of the pyrotechnics, all of the camera work, all of the other actors, all of the writing, all of the marketing that went into producing this movie to get to a form where it is physically in a DVD on my shelf that I paid physical money for. And all of that is now downgraded to, I'm not going to watch that movie because Kevin Spacey's an asshole. That's simply ridiculous to me.
And I think that's why he's not going to be able to make another movie.
Right.
Because people are, once again, don't want to associate themselves with that toxic thing. And
It
even
sucks,
though in
but
person they can do
it
it.
happens, you know, like
Downgrading
people.
everyone's work, their life work, to nothing.
It's just because people are
one
too
person.
narrow-minded. Humans are just like
They only see what they
they
want
only
to see.
see. Yeah, they only want to see what they want to see. Exactly. Like you can't argue with people that think that way. You know. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great example. Somebody I met last year. He says something stupid. You try and argue and even though it could be the blatantly obvious that it's wrong. You argue for half an hour and prove your point with solid facts for that half an hour. At the end, he's like, I'm still right.
Yep.
And it's so frustrating.
We all know people like that.
It's so frustrating.
We all know people like that. There were like 3 or 4 people like that on Birthright. It was really annoying.
That's annoying.
Yeah. So, I think, yeah. Good point.
I had a friend that like when he went into like arguments, like he didn't like go into arguments like willingly, but like every time he got into an argument, he could literally argue for anything and like make like pretty like good arguments out of it, and like make it sound super convincing, even though it's wrong, and he knows it's wrong, but he just likes arguing. And it's just so funny because like when you listen to him argue, you're like, damn, this is so good. Like his argument is actually so good.
Yeah.
But it's wrong, but it's still so good. And the other person's just like, fuck, what the fuck? What, damn.
I mean, he would be a good politician.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Huh. You know who you are. Hopefully, I don't know.
If you're listening to this,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, well, that's all the time we got for you this week. This was Everything Objectified. My name's Dylan. I'm here, as always, with my roommates, Richard and Kevin. We objectify everything. Today's topic was art.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And until then, I'm taking a fat nap. See you next week.
See ya. Bye.